Hey everybody, welcome back to Everyday Legends, and today I've got another iPhone related video for you, and let's get right into it. Now, from the start, this guy and this guy don't care about you. Apple and Google are for-profit companies. There isn't anything that these companies do that they don't do without the intention to make some kind of profit. And today I want to talk about the 4 things that Apple has done that made me lose my trust entirely in the company, to a point to where I no longer buy their products out of loyalty, because at one time I did. So the first thing that Apple did, and this was back on the iPhone 7, so a little bit ago, it was when Apple took away the headphone jack. This was the first time that I started to consider the possibility of trying out an Android phone. This wasn't because I was the headphone jack's #1 fan. At that time, the Bluetooth headphones you got were either very expensive to get a good pair or just not that great. So I was willing to try it out, but it was just how Apple went about it. It was so disingenuous. And it was the first time that I took that Apple Kool-Aid out of my mouth and I started to go, wait, what? Did he just say that? That's their reasoning? I think all of us who watched that keynote can remember when they said this.
Well, the reason to move on, I'm going to give you 3 of them, but it really comes down to one word: courage.
It had nothing to do with the fact they were going to be coming out with the AirPods to find a solution to that problem that Apple just conveniently created during that keynote. It had nothing to do with any of that, right? It was courage. Darn all of you Android manufacturers who followed suit, and we're going to see that trend in pretty much everything that Apple does these days. And I remember Samsung made all these commercials about, oh, you know, our phone still has a headphone jack.
Double dongle, I guess. That sounds explicit.
Guess what they did pretty soon after? That's right, they took away the headphone jack. Oh, and they came out with some Bluetooth headphones. I was talking with friends from school, and they were saying, oh yeah, you know, the headphones they're great, they're so cool. This is just, you know, it's time for us to advance technology. And I'm sitting there like, how can no one connect the dots? One of the arguments is they needed the room and space to grow. And then you had that video of somebody actually adding a headphone jack to an iPhone 7. And I'm sure Apple must have been like, oh crap. Yet nobody cared. They all bought iPhone 7s, and Apple is still doing terrifically great as Apple today. Apple makes great products. But consumers, it's like they're blind or they just don't care.
But I cannot see, I'm legally blind.
Apple can do no wrong. Apple is a perfect company. And oh, new iPhone 15? That looks just like the 14? That looks just like the 13? That looks just like the 12? That looks very similar to the 11 and the 10? Here is $1,500. It blows my mind why people do this, and it's cult-like mentality. Not saying everyone's a cult member who owns an Apple product, but it's a little creepy that people do this and they're so passionate to do so. Number 2, when Apple removed the charging blocks from the box. Gosh, this ticked me off. I remember when it first happened, I was like, you gotta be kidding me. I'm paying $1,300, $1,400, $1,500, or some people get like the 1 terabyte. They're paying, let's just say a ton of money, because I don't know the exact number. And you're not gonna put a $30 charger in the box? And I'll never forget the keynote that came out and said, you know, we're helping the environment, that's our focus. If Apple does not include a charger in the box for the millions and millions and millions of iPhones that they sell on a yearly basis, will that help the environment? I'm sure it will. Okay, I'm sure it will, because it's, you know, you can chalk it up to waste, whatever you want. It makes sense that yes, it will impact the environment in a favorable way. But is that their priority, is helping the environment? What have we learned today? Apple is a pro-profit company. Don't tell me that their #1 priority in removing the charging block from the box was to help the environment. It was money. It will always be money. And nothing blows my mind more than to hear big YouTubers have all these videos, and I'm not gonna name names because they're great YouTubers and I'm not casting shade or anything. All these big videos that get hundreds of thousands and millions of views talking about, oh, you know, I love the fact that Apple is really helping the environment and being really, you know, pushing forward the cause to keep the earth green and help the environment. And I'm sitting there going like, dude, are you that naive? Either you're naive or Apple is sweetening the pot, so to speak, not by money, but by early access, whatever you want. There's no way that their priority is helping the environment. It will always be money. That's the only green Apple cares about. Think about it. No charging block in the box equals smaller boxes. You can put those boxes in the same size crates that you ship, but now you can put more boxes in those crates. You earn more profit because of that. You don't have to put the charging block in the box, so you're saving the cost of the charging block. And all the people that decide that they need a charging block, they're gonna go to Apple to get their charging block. It's a total win for Apple. And some of you guys watching the video right now, I see you down there in the comments section, okay? Yes, Android manufacturers, when this came out, I remember watching that keynote and going, oh crap. Google, Samsung, all these Android manufacturers that I would otherwise buy, instead of buying an iPhone, they're gonna do the same thing, aren't they? And that's exactly what they did. So shame on Apple, shame on Samsung, shame on Google, shame on whatever other company did this crap, because it is not for saving the environment, it is for money. Green money, more profit. Pro-profit companies gaining more profit. Number 3, and heaven help me, because this one is another one that just totally bugs me. The butterfly keyboard. My condolences to anyone who paid $1,000, $2,000, $3,000. I hope not $4,000 or $5,000 to have this wonderful new peak of innovation. Let's get into it. This one's bad. This one's bad. So I didn't have the pleasure of buying one of these things. I saw many reviews and I said, I never want to get one of those. But one person very close to me decided to purchase one of these MacBooks with these new keyboards, the butterfly keyboards. And that person was my mom. Love you, Mom. I don't judge you for your decision, but my oh my, she regretted that decision. That keyboard was horrible. You hit one button, sometimes you got 2 key inputs, sometimes you got 3, sometimes you got 4. Maybe you got lucky and it just kind of ran, ran off the screen with the letters, right? You could be typing, it could be missing inputs. You maybe hit your space bar, it jumps across, 4 across to the right, and then you hit your arrow, then it jumps across 7 to the left. It even came to a point to where there was a class action lawsuit, which Apple lost, about the butterfly keyboard. The final thing with this thing was it was loud. I'll put a clip here typing on the actual butterfly mechanism keyboard. And let me tell you, at this time I was going to school, I was in college, and I remember my entire class, 30, 40 students, they all had this new laptop. And they all walked in, and on those days that I needed to listen and type my notes on my Windows computer to understand something for the final exam, they'd all whip out their new MacBooks with that stupid butterfly keyboard mechanism, and they would go, doon, 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 doon. I mean, listen to this thing. Imagine that times 40. Apple, you screwed up. I'm happy you changed it, but holy crap, what a design flaw. That was a bad, bad idea. Number 4, Apple finally deciding to get rid of the Lightning port and going over to USB-C. Did I say deciding? Let me check my script here. Being forced to change to USB-C. That's what number 4 is. Could it possibly be that they had a licensing fee for all the third-party manufacturers making dongles and accessories for their Lightning port? Could it possibly be that they had full control over that port, that they made millions upon millions of dollars doing so. Remember, what have we learned? It's not about money, it's about the environment, right? Or it's not about money, it's about creating space for future technology, right? It's about, we're helping you. We're here to help you. We're Apple. We're your buddies. We're here to help you. It's money. It's always, always, always money. And if this isn't a perfect example, man, go buy a new iPhone 16 Pro Max when it comes out and make sure it's a 3 terabyte or whatever they offer. Give all your money to Apple. I remember my friends who were, we'll call them technology normies. I remember when the iPhone 10 came out, and it came out with an OLED panel. This was a big deal because Apple was always using the LCD panels. And I remember them telling me, hey Sean, I bet your phone doesn't have an OLED screen. Samsung makes OLED panels, and that came out with their first Galaxy S phone in what year? 2010. iPhone 10, 2017, Galaxy S, 2010. For 7 years, all you iPhone users out there, these people didn't know that OLED technology existed. Samsung made the displays for the iPhone 10. It's not even like a debate, pro Android, pro iPhone. It's just the ability to take off the goggles that people are wearing. It's okay to like Apple products and criticize Apple. So why did Apple switch from Lightning to USB-C? Let me tell you. Legislation. They were forced to. According to the Common Charger Directive, approved by the Council of the European Union, all devices with wired charging capabilities must feature a USB-C port to be eligible for sale within the region. For those who know me, this is probably one of the very few times I will ever utter this statement. Thank you, government legislation, for helping Apple help its consumers. You truly did something right. I no longer have blind brand loyalty. And for that, I guess I can say, thank you, Apple. Thank you for the things that you have done to cause me to look elsewhere for my products and services. You have truly helped me save thousands of dollars by not giving it to you. So what do you all think? Are there any Apple lovers out there that I have unfortunately offended? I plan on making even, I dare say, pro iPhone videos in the future because yes, I do like iPhone. I think everyone should be able to criticize the brands and products that they respect and they like, because if we don't, how are they ever going to improve? So please put your comments down below, let's have a conversation, and please subscribe for the next video, and I will see all of you next time.